Hey guys, in this video we're going to do a how-to in HP tuners on the GM 10-speed transmissions. Several of you guys have asked about these because they're relatively new and they're just not as common as far as the tutorials go on YouTube. So we're just going to do a quick dive into a 10-speed file, and I'm going to show you what I adjust when I have customers that come to me with them. So yeah, here we go. Okay guys, so let's get into it. So we've got our Gen 5 stock file folder pulled up, and we're going to be looking at a 2019 Camaro SS 10-speed. This is a stock file. Get it to load here, go into the trans section. Under our general tab, there's nothing here for you to really mess with. It has your gear ratios. A lot of people will say that the 8 and 6-speed transmissions, that this is even easier than those. Just a matter of knowing where to go and what to look for. Under our manual section, you're not going to need to touch anything here. Same thing with the shift general. There's just nothing to really look at, which is kind of nice. On the upshift, the shift scheduling table, it's kind of nice having the upshift table here and the downshift so they're separated. Again, these work just like all of the other ones. These are your upshift speeds, and then you have your downshift speeds, down here. I would probably leave these alone, honestly. You have your full throttle shift, speeds right here. You can see that these bottom two, really these bottom 3 gears, you're probably not going to be running these mile an hours. Probably going to fall somewhere in here. Would probably definitely want to lock out these last 3 gears. But for right now, we can leave it alone. Full throttle shift RPM. This is a pretty healthy, in my opinion. What you could probably do is you could bump these up to 6,500 just to match if you wanted to, and then maybe these last 2 or last 3 gears, you could make those something ridiculous. That way, there's no chance that you would shift into those gears. So you could add 200 or 300, RPM here, or just match them. But for a stock cam kind of setup, I would probably just leave it like it is. Shift pressure, you can see under upshift, we're not going to touch anything in here. Same thing in downshift, nothing here either. Our max line pressure, we can bump this up to maybe something like 210. Our TCC on right here, depending on where you can see we've got RPM on one axis, then we've got torque on the other. This kind of works the exact same way as what we have done in the past. If you want, you can go in here and you can bump these up, by 10%, just to give you a slight bump. And just not really sure why this one necessarily looks different, but we can paste these line pressures in here. And if you didn't feel comfortable with that, you notice how these weren't as high as the other ones, what you could do is just manually add 10% to each table. This is probably going to be a good bet right here. There again, just to get you up and running. We'll do something like this. And then same thing for TCC off. We want to go in here and add 10% to all of them. Obviously, once you go drive the car, you'll be able to look at your data log and look how clean your shifts are, and that'll kind of, help you decide what direction you want to take. If you have a stock cam, stuff like that, you don't need to be bumping these too much, really, if any. Just bumping this max allowed pressure is going to be plenty enough. You can do reverse if you want to. I just opted not to. Upshift and downshift, we're not going to look at. Torque converter. You want to go in here and zero out your desired slip tables. So this is pretty standard across the 6 and the 8s. So again, we can go in here, zero these out. This is going to be a good start right here. You would definitely want to do this, as well as disable the DOD slip table. And then you could also zero these out if you'd like to. Max pressure, we can go in here and bump this to 175. That's going to be a good bet. No need to really bump this TCC desired pressure table up or anything. The trans adapts, max adapt, you can set to 25. It's probably okay. Apply and release, same thing as all the other videos. You can kind of decide what you want to do. Here's your applies right here, and then here's your releases. So there again, you can kind of decide what you want to do when you want the converter to be locked or unlocked. I would probably set this up something like this. The first 5 gears, I want the converter unlocked, so it looks something like that. And then definitely at wide open throttle, we can come in here and make these the same. Make sure you pay attention though these are the applies down here, and then these are the releases. So it might look kind of backwards, so just be cautious of that. So this might be a good starting point. Full throttle, you probably would want everything to be unlocked initially, unless you have a converter that, the company that you purchased your converter from says that it's okay. Nothing to do here with this TCC release. So as you can see, there's just not as much in this 10-speed file as there is in some of the other ones. Torque management, the max torque versus gear. We do need to send this to its limit, get that out of the way. These other ones, the max torque reverse, I need to touch, and the max torque and gear is already zeroed out. So as you can see, there's not nearly as much to have to kind of juggle with. So like I've said in some of the other videos, in terms of the spark control and torque management, you can use, you can use the minimum spark table, under the spark general section to work on that. But really, it's a pretty simple calibration to do, honestly. There's just not much here that needs to be adjusted. So if you have any questions or comments about this video, or if there's anything you'd like to see, feel free to let me know, like and subscribe, reach out to me, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.